There is some programs that are doing this at a high level that you can bring the NBA formula to college and have a lot of success. But there are differences, right? I got to worry about academics and compliance and fundraising, and I wear about 10 different hats every day, and 80% of them have nothing to do with coaching basketball. That's an adjustment for me, but our staff's been incredible, especially with the recruiting of just how to organize, what type of guys I know I want to go after, and then how to maneuver behind the scenes of what agents you got to speak to, what high schools you got to go to. All of those things are brand new to me, right? And that's where our staff and putting the staff together that we have has been really valuable.
Your last year in the school was
2012.
So the title year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ACC then was, we didn't even see it. Had Jim Boeheim was it?
12 teams. Yeah.
Yeah. There was Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams. You look around now, this is a league that's almost had an entire turnover of its coaches in the last 5 years.
That's right.
With some of these people retiring and just other people going to other jobs or whatever. How different does that feel as you're in the coaches room now as a first-time head coach in the ACC? And like all the things you knew about the ACC as a player a decade ago, it's drastically different.
Yeah, as a player, let's be frank, there's some legendary coaches. Coach K, which I have so much respect for, like you said, Roy Williams, Leonard Hamilton, Larry Nega. Like there was a true backbone to this league with historic coaches. And now you look at the league, obviously 6 more teams than when I played in it, and we're up to 18 teams. But there's a new wave of youthfulness, of guys that have a lot of energy that I also think will be those legendary coaches, right? And it's just they're about 20 to 30 years behind in age, right? And I know Jay and I are still in our 30s. Shire has done an incredible job, an impossible job to replace Coach K, but he hit that job with a full head of steam, and I have so much respect. I've obviously competed against John as a player, and now we'll compete against him as a coach. But it's interesting, like Andy Enfield was the main coach that recruited me to Florida State, and now I'm coaching against him. Odom was at Virginia Tech and recruited me when I was coming out of high school, and now I'm coaching against him. So I have a lot of respect, and Shrews was in the NBA when I was in the NBA. There's a lot of familiarity because basketball is such a small world that I have a ton of respect for this league and their coaches. We just don't have those old legendary coaches that have coached for the last 50 years because a lot of those guys have retired.
Coach, when you talk about all these different coaches that you've kind of been around and picked their brain about, so when you're installing your own offense, how do you dictate, like, okay, do I take a little bit of this from Steve? Do I take a little bit of this from Mike? Because they do play similar styles, like schematically, but it is different in how they approach it.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I mean, a lot of it is centered around, ball movement, a lot of split action, a lot of zoom action, a lot of all these different actions that lead to another thing. Yeah. I try to, but I mean, just the ball movement and fluidity, that comes with kind of the continuity of the team. And all these guys are kind of new. You're new as well. So how are you doing with installing your type of offense, and what decides, okay, I'm going to take this from Coach Kerr, I'm going to take this from Coach Brown? I know that's a lot to unpack. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a great question. A lot of what we ran in Sacramento, there was some foundational things that we took from Golden State. And Jay Triano had a big impact on our offense too in Sacramento. But when we sat down, when Coach Brown got the Sacramento job, we went back to a lot of the Golden State film. And a lot of it goes back to Greg Popovich, right? The playing without the dribble, right? The constant ball movement and body movement, the cutting, the space, the respacing, but ultimately playing 5 against the defense, right? It's not me pounding the ball trying to create a shot. It's we all are trying to create the best shot every possession. And so a lot of that will go into our foundation at Florida State. We want to create the most efficient shot every possession, regardless of who's shooting.
Right.
I have certain things on offense and certain things on defense. It doesn't matter game plan wise; those things will remain.
Yeah.
And a lot of those come from obviously Steve Kerr and Mike Brown, and guys I've learned under.
Right.
And then there's certain things schematically and tactically and strategically that will attack opponents, and depending on their weaknesses.
Right.
But it will be like if you watch the New York Knicks
Yes.
this year with
Yep.
Mike Brown.
Yep.
We're going to have a lot of similar base sets because it's what we believe in terms of spacing, in terms of cutting, in terms of attacking teams, and creating advantages for our offense. There will be a lot of similarities between what Mike's running and what
Yeah.
we're running at Florida
Yeah,
State.
yeah. Just a quick follow up. So, talk about Leonard Hamilton. So he was kind of ahead of his time with kind of the big, long, rangy like wings,
Right.
and now we're seeing kind of everybody kind of do that. As far as like recruiting goes, are you going to kind of try to emulate some of that along with some of the stuff that you're in? Because I mean, essentially, we're in the league now where I know when you played, point guards were 6'3", 6'4", and now we got guys that are 6'8", 6'9", who are playing a position. And I mean, I think Coach Hamilton was ahead of his time with doing that because he always had bigger players and bigger guards. I mean, I think about guys like Scotty Barnes,
Right.
who is in the league and he's kind of pioneered that big guard,
Yeah.
which is implemented in the NBA, which you're familiar with. Is that something that you kind of want to implement going forward still?
Yeah, there's always a value of having size and length on the court. I would argue that I'll be a little more skill based, specific to the style I want to play. I want as much shooting as possible and as many guys on the court that can pass, shoot, and dribble and make decisions quickly as possible. But defensively, you need position size, you need length, you need athleticism to just get stops, right? And the one thing Coach Hamilton always had was about 5-7 footers on the team.
Absolutely.
Behind the play,
Absolutely.
which helped slow-footed guards like myself when I couldn't put the ball in front of me. But he was a big believer in having the most size. At times, we were bigger than most NBA teams.
Yep.
The year we won the ACC championship, I think our lineup was like 6'5", 6'5", 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot, and that was normal to us.
Right.
But also, it forced us at times to slow the game down, and it was like the first team to 55 wins.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
I would tend that I'm going to coach a little bit differently, just from my background. Not that Ham was wrong or right, or I'm wrong or right.
Yeah, I mean, the game's changed.
It's
So.
just the game has changed, and where I learned how to coach,
Right.
it was
Right.
far different than
Right.
what he learned how to coach.
Right.
But there always is an advantage to have size.
Right.
You know, and I think that will remain as best we can.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you.